Sound check. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. May we rise for the national anthem? The chairman.
Distinguished shareholders, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to the 8th Annual General Meeting of Africa Prudential PLC. The time is now 10 a.m. The company secretary has informed me that a quorum has been formed. These registrars, having received 263 numbers of proxies representing 50.39 of the issued share capital. Therefore, I have great pleasure in declaring this meeting open. Please be advised that this meeting is being streamed live and also being recorded. In compliance with the COVID-19 Health Protection Regulations 2021, which prohibits public gathering of more than 50 persons to curb the spread of the coronavirus disease, this AGM is by proxy in line with the guidelines of the Corporate Affairs Commission, having obtained the Commission's approval. Consequently, some members of the Board of Directors and representatives of some regulatory bodies are participating virtually at this meeting. Please be advised that this meeting is being streamed live on the company's website and other social media channels, and also being recorded. Other directors at this meeting who are attending virtually are Mr. Peter Elumelu, Non-Executive Director. Okay. Oh, yeah, having said that, it gives me great pleasure to introduce myself and those participating with me at this meeting. I am your humble self, Eniola Fadayomi. I have on my immediate right our Chief Executive Officer, immediately to my right, to my left. Okay, next to him, yes, next to him is Mr. Emmanuel Norum, our Non-Executive Director. On my far right is Mr. Samuel Nwanze, Non-Executive Director. And of course, also is the Company Secretary, Mr. Joseph Jibuna. my humble self. Other directors are, as I said, they are attending virtually, and they are Mr. Peter Elumelu, who's our non-executive director, Mrs. Fumbi Chima, non-executive director, Hajia Zubaida Rashid, the independent non-executive director, and Hajia Amuna Lawan Ali, independent non-executive director. We also have with us representatives of the following regulators. The Nigerian Stock Exchange, represented by Mrs. Brenda Duke. The Securities and Exchange Commission, represented by Mr. Obina Eguniwe. And the Corporate Affairs Commission, I understand, are also represented. Although they have no representative, as they had earlier, in response to our invitation to this meeting, communicated that due to the lockdown, they would not be able to send a representative. I would also like to introduce to you representatives of the following. The external auditors, Ernst & Young, Ms. Yisa Pina. She's being represented. Yes, she's being represented. The registrar, Africa Prudential PLC, Mrs. Catherine Nwosu. And the statutory audit committee members from the shareholders, represented by Mr. Frank Shikezi, Mr. Tajuddin Adeshina, Alhaji Kabiru Tambari. Our board evaluation consultant from DCSL Corporate Services Limited, Mr. Ibrahim Alagbe. Please be reminded that this meeting is being streamed live and recorded. When you want to speak, please indicate by show of hand and wait for the chairman to invite you to speak. When invited, your microphone will be unmuted and muted after speaking. Please state your name clearly and endeavor to be brief and straight to the point. I urge you not to repeat what has already been said. Kindly also note that the Registrar of Directors Shareholding and the record of attendance at board meetings of directors eligible for election are available for viewing by contacting the registrars. Please also note that the requisite information is available in the annual reports. I will now call on our company secretary, Mr. Joseph Jibuna, to read the notice of the meeting.
Notice of annual general meeting. Notice is hereby given that the 8th annual general meeting of Africa Prudential PLC is scheduled to hold on Thursday, March 25, 2021 at Lagoon Restaurant, Uzuban Badue Street, Victoria Island at 10 a.m. to transact the following businesses. Ordinary business, to lay before the members the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2020, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, and audit committee thereon. 2, to declare a dividend. 3, to approve the appointment of the following directors: Mrs. Fumbi Chima, Hajia Zubaida Rashid. 4, to re-elect the following directors, retiring by rotation: Mr. Peter Elumelu, Mr. Samuel Wanze. 5, to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors for the 2021 financial year. 6, to re-elect members of the statutory audit committee. 7, to disclose the remuneration of managers. 8, to consider special business, to consider, and if thought fit, pass the following as an ordinary resolution: that the remuneration of the non-executive directors be and is hereby fixed at 42,500,000 naira. for the year ending December 31st, 2021. Such payments will be effective from January 1st, 2021, dated this 18th day of February 2021 by order of the board. Notes: compliance with COVID-19 related directives and guidelines. The federal government of Nigeria, state government, health authorities, and regulatory agencies have issued a number of guidelines and directives aimed at curbing the spread of COVID-19 in Nigeria, particularly, and issued a number of guidelines and directives aimed at curbing the spread of the virus. Particularly, the federal government prohibited the gathering of more than 50 people, while the Corporate Affairs Commission issued guidelines on holding AGM of public companies by proxy. The convening and conduct of the AGM shall be done in compliance with these directives and guidelines. Proxy: any member of the company entitled to attend and vote at this meeting is also entitled to appoint a proxy to attend and vote in his or her state. A proxy need not be a member of the company. For the appointment of proxy to be valid, the proxy form must be completed and deposited either at the office of the company registrars, Africa Prudential PLC, 220B Ikorodu Road, Palm Grove, Lagos, or via email at csc@africaprudential.com, not later than 48 hours before the time fixed for the meeting. A blank proxy form is attached to the annual report and may also be downloaded from the company's website at www.africaprudential.com. Attendance by proxy in line with CSC guidelines. Attendance of the AGM shall be by proxy only. Shareholders are required to appoint a proxy of their choice from the list of nominated proxies below. If Mrs. Eniola Fadayomi, Mr. Bon Gideon, Mr. Peter Elumelu, Mr. Emmanuel Lunorom, Madam Amuna Lawan Ali, Mr. Peter Shade, Mr. Samuel Wanze, Mrs. Kumbi Chima, Mr. Joseph Jivono, Mr. Frank Chikeze, Mr. Tajidin Additional, Alhaji Kabir Utambari. Stamping of proxy. The company has made arrangement at its own cost for the stamping of the duly completed and signed proxy forms submitted to the company registrars within stipulated time. Online streaming of AGM. The AGM will be streamed live online. This will enable shareholders and other stakeholders who will not be attending physically to follow the proceedings. The link for the AGM online live streaming will be made available on the company's website at www.africaprudential.com. Dividend. If the dividend recommended by the directors is approved by the shareholders at the AGM, dividend will be paid by 26 March 2021. Given the previous notice to shareholders and the investing public by the company on the closing period for the purpose of dividend payment, dividend approval of the AGM will be paid to shareholders whose names appear in the company's register of members at the close of business on March 15, 2021. Closure of register. As previously notified to shareholders and the investing public, the register of members of the company will be closed from March 16 to March 20, both days inclusive for the purpose of dividend payment and updating the register. Nomination to the audit committee. In accordance with section 4046 of CAMA, any member may nominate a shareholder for re-election as a member of the audit committee by giving notice in writing of such nomination to the company secretary at least 21 days before the AGM. Such notice of nomination should be sent via email to csc@africa.prudential.com for the attention of the company secretary. The Securities and Exchange Commission's Code of Corporate Governance for public companies provide that members of the audit committee should have basic financial literacy and should be able to read financial statements. E-dividend registration notice is hereby given that to all shareholders to open bank accounts, stockbroking account, and CSCS accounts for the purpose of receiving dividend payment electronically. A detachable application form for e-dividend is attached to the annual report to enable all shareholders to furnish particulars of their accounts to the registrars as soon as possible. Profiles of directors for re-election. The profiles of Mr. Peter Elumelu and Samuel Wanze, who will be retiring by rotation and will be presenting themselves for re-election, are among the profile of directors that are provided in the 2020 annual report and on the company's website at www.africaprudential.com. E-annual report published on the website. In order to improve delivery of our annual report, we have inserted a detachable form in the 2020 annual report and hereby request shareholders to complete the form by providing their contacts and any other requested details and thereafter return to the registrars for further processing. Additionally, an electronic version of the 2020 annual report is available on the company's website at www.africaprudential.com. Right of shareholders, 3012. Shareholders have the right to ask questions not only at the meeting but also in writing prior to the meeting, and such written questions must be submitted to the company via email csc@africaprudential.com on or before March 19, 2021. Unclaimed dividend. In accordance with section 429 of the CAMA 2020, the list of unclaimed dividends and the names of persons entitled to the dividends is available on the company's website at www.africaprudential.com. unclaimed dividend for viewing by shareholders by order of the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Distinguished shareholders, the chairman's statement is on pages 33 to 37 of the annual report, copies of which have been distributed to shareholders and still available on the company's website. With your kind permission, kindly waive my reading of the statement, and may I consider it as read? May we consider it as read? Thank you very much. I will now ask the representatives of the external auditors to read the auditor's report.
Good morning, everyone. My name is, permit me to sit. My name is Wale Ayonleye. I'm representing Yiza Pena, Independent Auditor's Report to the members of Africa Prudential PLC, report on the audit of the financial statements. We have audited the financial statements of Africa Prudential PLC, which comprise the statement of financial position as at 31st December 2020, and the statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, and statement of cash flow for the year then ended, and notes to the financial statement, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, accompanying financial statement of Africa Prudential PLC present fairly in all material respects to the financial position of the company as at 31 December 2020 and of its financial performance and cash flow for the year then ended in accordance with international financial reporting standards as issued by the International Accounting Standard Boards and the relevant provision of the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020 and the Financial Reporting Council Act number 6, 2011. Basis of opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standard on auditing. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements section of our report. We are independent of the company in accordance with International Ethics Standard Board for Accountants Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, ISBA Code, and other independence requirements applicable to performing the audit of Africa Prudential PLC. We have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with ISBA Code and in accordance with other ethical requirements applicable to performing the audit of Africa Prudential PLC. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis of our opinion. Report on other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with the requirement of Schedule 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we confirmed that, 1, we have obtained all the information and explanation which to the best of our knowledge and belief were necessary for the purpose of our audit. 2, in our opinion, proper books of accounts have been kept by the company insofar as it appears from our examination of those books. 3, the company's statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of account. 4, in our opinion, the financial statements have been prepared in accordance with the provisions of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 so as to give a true and fair view of the state of affairs and financial performance. Signed by Jamil Olakison, FCA, FRC 2012/ICANN 2021/3918 for Ernst & Young, Lagos, Nigeria, signed 2nd of March 2021. Thank you.
I will now ask the chairman of the Statutory Audit Committee to read the committee's report.
Chairman, Board of Directors, distinguished shareholders, my name is Frank Chikezie. The report of the Statutory Audit Committee presented to members of African Prudential PLC. In compliance with Section 404, subsection 7 of the Corporate Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we, the members of the Statutory Audit Committee of African Prudential PLC, hereby report as follows. The Audit Committee met in exercise of its statutory responsibilities in accordance with Section 404, subsection 7 of CAMA. We have examined the auditor's report, including the financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2020. We have also deliberated with external auditors, reviewed their findings and recommendations, and confirmed that the auditor's report for this period is consistent with our review. And we are satisfied that the accounting and reporting policies of the company are in accordance with legal requirements and meet ethical standards. Signed, Frank Chikezie, Chairman, Statutory Audit Committee. Other members of the Statutory Audit Committee are as follows. Additional Tajuddin, member. Alhaji Kabiru Tambari. Mr. Samuel Wanze. Hajia Amuna Lawani Ali. And Mr. Peter Elumelu. Thank you.
Please take note. Thank you very much. Please take note of the report of the external consultants on the board evaluation of the company on pages 67 to 68 of the annual report. The next item on the agenda is to lay before the members the audited financial statements for the year ended December 31, 2020, together with the reports of directors, auditors, and audit committee thereon. I hereby lay before you the report and accounts for the year ended December 31, 2020. You now have an opportunity to ask questions regarding the report and accounts. In doing so, it would help to ensure that we give the right answer if you could refer to the page of the report and accounts to which your question relates. Remember to raise your hands to enable the chairman recognize you to speak. Sir Sonny Nwosu, could you call in?
The chairman, other directors of African Prudential, very distinguished shareholders. My name is Sir Sonny Nwosu. I'm the National Coordinator Emeritus, Independent Shareholders Association of Nigeria. It is a great pleasure for us to be here to discuss the affairs of our very great company that made a profit of 1.98 billion naira. The chairman, Let me start my contribution from the agenda of the meeting, which is, I'm struggling to get page 1 of the meeting. Under special business, I have not seen a place where the workers will be paid ahead of the work they are going to do. If you look at it, you are asking us to approve the director's fee for the year ending 31st December 2020 be paid with effect from 1st of January 2021. I don't know whether it's a wrong interpretation I've given to this, but I also believe that director's fee will be paid at the end of every year, not at the beginning of please return the money. So the appropriate thing to do is to pay as the completion of the services that they are rendering. Madam Chairman, or rather like I used to say, chairman is chairman. I want to pick on page 41 of the CEO's report. Regulatory changes. The 2020 Finance Act. I very much appreciate the notation of this obnoxious issue as it concerns the shareholders. It's a thing that the shareholders have been fighting. And we believe that the contract between those who are paying dividend and even those who are not paying, it is between two individuals. And I do not know why they should single out those of us who are practicing on the stock exchange to be punished with this. Because the Finance Act exempts unquoted companies, exempt private companies from this obnoxious thing. We were very pleased with the position of CAMA 1990 and CAMA 2020, which says that after 12 years, the money will now revert back to the company that pays it. At this stage, we cannot trust government, whether they call it trust fund or anything. And I want to tell you, Chairman, that even at the Senate, a regulator kicked against it. And what happened? The minister looked back and looked at the regulator, like we used to say. Okay. Like we used to say that regulators in Nigeria is so punitive. And I know that the indication of looking back, looking at the gentleman who represented a major regulatory body in this country, is to victimize that young man. And they kicked against it. At the end of the day, they have to draw back the 12 years in the CAMA and now install 6 years into the whole thing. And there's also a trading position of Security and Exchange Commission today, which is saying that untraceable money should be returned back to the trust fund after 24 months. Not even 6 months that they asked for, after 24 months. I sympathize with our company, being a registrar company and being an obedient servant to the regulators. The license is so important that we cannot argue with them. But we are the people to fight for this cause. it is very, very important to also know that my joy about registrars being listed is that that's another demutualization, which Nigerian Stock Exchange is struggling to achieve. Because in registrar, we have actually demutualized, and we're even paying dividend to those who are our clients on everything they brought in. So Nigerian Stock Exchange should learn from quoted registrars and know how to do demutualization. And we have said it very clearly that in demutualization of Nigerian Stock Exchange, I'm sure they are here. I'm sure they are here. No single person should have 5% of the total capital base of the company, because we are all participants. The danger again of this finance 2020 is that majority of the shareholders, their vision change now. Companies that's the foreign companies that could not export back their dividend, they are all using that money to buy their shares here, reducing the float, one, reducing the number of Nigerians that hold shares in such company. And these are issues that need to be looked into by corporate Nigeria. So it is very important. 3 days ago, if you ask ENN, we were here, and I disclosed a front page cover of The Guardian, which published an issue that we related to them. Yesterday, the central bank is claiming that they have released $80 million for BTA, school fee, but they never mentioned anything about empowering those who continue to grease the wheel of economy in this country to transfer their dividend. And by so doing, it then means that some of the companies will not even want to pay a huge dividend. And even where they are paying a huge dividend, they will make it scrip dividend, whereby they can use the money to buy us back. This is a dangerous trend. Dangerous trend in the sense that we are being punished as practitioners. Most of these big companies that will hold their register may decide to delist from the exchange. And by the time they delist, we are losing businesses. So that's the more reason why that all of us should continue to talk about this issue. Let me take us to page 104, which has to do with the capital position of our company. 104. On that 104, Tier 1 capital, we have a reserve of 8 billion naira. 8 billion naira over the capital, share capital of 1 billion naira. Madam, what I'm saying in this respect is that if the shareholders, if you feel strongly that you are comfortable with the capital base of 1 billion naira and you cannot issue bonus, then you should give us a special dividend, because this is our money. It's our money. You should give us a special that we can enjoy from this reserve. It's very, very important that the board should look into this. Let me also take us to page 106. The page 106 has to do with revenue. It has to do with revenue on page 106. Now, look at page 106 below. It gives us type of services. Fees from corporate action. That was increased. Regular maintenance increased. Then we come to digital technology services. increased fantastically. My concern here is retainership. Retainership. We did not earn anything from retainership. I'd like to know the reason why we were unable to earn anything from retainership. It is very important for us to know. And when you also look at this account, you will also discover that our turnover of 1 billion and 59, it was the turnover we made, which is 3 point something billion naira. We earned interest that made up that. Operationally, we did not make a very big profit. And I want us to also go to, I've talked about demutualization on 108 of this annual report. If you look at down below, debt instrument at amortized cost, and you go further and look at interest on bonds, look at interest on loans and advances. That is exactly what gave us our turnover. But then, when you look at interest on treasury bill, we can understand that the treasury bill came down heavily from expectation, and that's the reason why we were within 50% of that. But I am happy about interest on bond. The interest of bond in corresponding year was just 5 million naira. So it moved to 73 million naira, which is good for us. So if you look at those things, but I am worried about two types of receivables here. There's one receivable that looks like amortized receivable, and there's another one which is under debt instrument. I would like an explanation on that so that we will understand. I know some of our customers gives us money ahead in advance, and could be the reason why the other one was in credit and the other one was in debit. One is in credit of 1.9 and the other one is in a debit of 18 billion naira. So I want to know the relationship between the two. Now, unclaimed dividend. Unclaimed dividend is very important for us because actually registrars have been punished. We continue to glamour that dividend paid do no longer belong to the company. Our destination to ask of our dividend is the registrars. But because of what I termed as bad belly, the registrars were checked on that by saying after 15 months, you have to return the money to the company. That money does not belong to the company, but the same fear of losing your license made you to become deaf and dumb to your regulators. So what is going to happen with these 6 years? Is the dividend going to remain with the registrar, or the same application that after 15 months, the money should be returned back to the company who now dictate who manages the registrar? So it is very, very important that we will understand this and know how shareholders will continue to agitate for the best practice to help us. I just want to quickly refer us to page 109, which I want to appreciate under administrative expenses. I want to appreciate the management of Auburn holding expenses very tight. If you look at that, you will see that last year, the expenses ran into 1.002, and this year, the expenses came down to 858 million. And I have also looked at it to see whether those who are baking this cake, whether they have gone through some punishment about it. That I did not see. The only thing I saw here is that medical expenses went up, and we need to look at our workers again and ensure that they are given the best medical attention so that by the time they're enjoying a good medical attention, the job will go on very well. And I also saw that the wages came down just some percentage. I hope this is not as a result of punishment, but maybe as a result of right sizing and cutting down the other things. The chairman, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity. We believe strongly that this is a very strong brand, and that those of us that are having shares in this company must enjoy the benefit of it. We also thank the company secretary, who is very approachable, and they did wonders by ensuring that we have enough people in this hall to attend. On the side of apology, Tambali called me from Sokoto that he is having challenges in getting here. He's been at the airport since yesterday, which I believe that weather and other things could cause this. He did this so that he can inform his fellow shareholders why he's not here with us. So I hope you will all accept his apology. He said he was going to link up. Very good. So once again, MD, congratulations. The board, congratulations. And the staff, congratulations on this good result. But consider giving us a special dividend. Thank you, and God bless all of us.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Huh? Where's Baba? Baba, where's yes, please. Oh, no, he's not the one I wanted to call. No, he was.
Yeah. What do you say?
I did not even. He was.
Keep quiet.
He's
My respected chairman, I want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. My name is Sir Olatunde Okelana, Balogun Olugban of Orile Egban in Oyo State, and Justice of Peace of Oyo State. My chairman, I want you to go to page 54. Your operating expenses, I appreciate the management for being prudent. They managed it very well from 1710507 down to 1556515. And coming down, I discovered that your profit before taxation reduced. Not too much, which is okay. But at the bottom line, your retained earnings is well commendable. We so much appreciate your retained earnings. That is 446,158 from 281,0829. My respected, I want you to agree with me that African Prudential is well managed. Why I said this is that they are registrars of notable character. We really appreciate, because most of the people on the management line are well trained. For example, your chief operating officer is always giving assistance to shareholders because of the problem created by SEC rules and this so-called bottleneck bureaucracy in the Nigerian capital market. I want you to agree with me now. Today, Nigerian shareholders are suffering, in the sense that there are a lot of bureaucratic procedure in this country that make it difficult for ordinary shareholders to get their dividends. And this is, I want to call all the registrars in this country to see what we can do. For example, for somebody to collect his dividends in African Prudential after buying it from the floor of the stock exchange, the stockbrokers must process your signature specimen to the registrars. Without doing this, shareholders might wait for 1 year to get their dividends. And why these challenges are there is because most of the stockbrokers in this country are not doing the needful. But occasionally, when the African Prudential discover that you have an existing mandate from your other account, they come to our assistance. Please give them a very nice round of applause. Having said that, I want to congratulate you also on your attainment of African Prudential on ISO 27001. 2013 certified for information and security management. This is a very beautiful achievement. And I want to commend you also on your dividends policy. I want to believe that the way you are running this company, because the shareholders will continue to give you the support because of your dividend policy is a very nice one. Having said that, I want to thank the management, those who are the workforce, who are really making sure that we have a good cake to eat today. Kudos to all the members of staff of African Prudential. Please continue to be a very good registrar, and we believe that you continue to enjoy the support of the shareholder. Thank you, and I'm very grateful for giving me an opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chief. Oh, Chief's hand is no longer up. Mrs. Bakare.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, Board of Directors, Regulatory Authorities here present this morning, my co-shareholders, good morning. My name is Mrs. Bisi Bakari. I'm going to start my comments on page 3 of the annual report, where we have notice of annual general meeting. Thank you. Thank you. Where we have notice of general meeting. Note 13. I want to know, Mr. Chairman, that is an unclaimed dividend list. I want to know what is the outstanding balance of our unclaimed dividend in Africa Prudential PLC. And I want to know if any part of the money has been released. We would like to know. Page 8. Where we have different awards. I congratulate the board management and staff of our company for several awards we received during the year under review. This is very good. One of them is 2019 Corporate Governance Award, the 7th Business Day Banks and Other Financial Institutions Award, 5th Nigeria Finance Innovations Award, Innovative Share Registrar Company of the Year. This is marvelous, and I congratulate the entire board, management, and staff for this great achievement. But the one we didn't put is the award you received by we shareholders as the Registrar of the Year. We gave you an award at Abuja. Next time, please put it, because we voted for you. All registrars' names are there, but everybody, almost 85% voted for African Prudential for a good service. So next time, include our own award too. Page 35. Page 35, under chairman statements. Last year, federal government and CBN disbursed 2 trillion naira to several stakeholders in the country under the COVID-19 targeted credit facility. My question on this is, does our company benefited in the disbursement of the 2 trillion, and how much? We'd like to know. Page 37. Still on the chairman statements. I can see that the enforcement of preventive social distancing measures of the federal and state government has given our company a unique opportunity to go into non-registrar's business. Therefore, Mr. Chairman, I would like the management to look inwards to outsmart our competitors. We have to be more innovative and creative by introducing new products to increase our top line. We need that at this very tough period to register companies. Before I say that, I think the business of registrars is not as usual. It's not business as usual. Things have changed. So we have to put more efforts to make sure that we give shareholders dividend every year. Page 42. page 42, under Chief Executive's reports. Despite that, there was no awareness of official AGM in the beginning of year 2020. Our company was able to administer future AGMs for 5 companies within 2 days in April. And April 2020, that is just 1 month and some weeks, maybe a week or 2 weeks. I really give kudos to the entire board management, especially the executive management, for this wonderful achievement. Please let us give them a round of applause. Page 50. Under results at a glance. Under assets, deposit for shares. Mr. Chairman, I would like to know why we have deposit for shares of 2.77 billion, 2.77 billion, almost 2.8 billion as deposit for shares. What implication does it have on our exposure? Secondly, still on the same page, reduction in registrar income from 1.5 billion to 1.05 billion. I think this calls for concern, and I want the management to look at that also. Page 106. Oh, sorry, some also have talked about that. That is types of services. Page 108, note 7. Page 108, note 7. That is interest income. With the continued, Mr. Chairman, with the continued decline in treasury bill rate to less than 2% from central bank monetary policy, as seen in revenue from 437.3 million to 200 million. I want to ask that what proactive steps is board and management taking to address these challenges? And secondly, are we going to, the company, are we going to focus only on bonds? We would like to know. Lastly, on page 109. On page 109, Mr. Chairman, where we have administrative expenses, I can see that our professional fees moved from 277.9 million to 393.3 million. I think that it's not this time that our company need money, that professional fees supposed to increase with this huge increment. Secondly, still on the same page, when I look at our internet and communication and training, I'm not happy about it. I thought that this area is the areas that we're supposed to increase our expenses due to the COVID-19. You can see that our internet and communication moved from 100.9 million to 100 million. I think we need internet service now more than before. The same thing on training. Our training expenses came down from 29.9 million to just 7.6 million. I don't know how that one is possible, because this time our staff need training. So I don't know why the training came down. We need to improve in our training as the only way out of this pandemic to investment and training in technological development. So I think the CEO will take note of that. Thank you once again for the opportunity given to me. God bless you all.
Thank you. Chief is not asking any questions, so we'll move on to, I'm not seeing everybody very well, but Mr. Boniface Okezie.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Where is he?
I'm here, ma'am.
Okay, yes.
Yes, I'm here.
Please, Mr. Boniface.
Ma'am, I'm here. I'm here, ma'am. I'm here already.
Okay, you are there
Yeah.
already. The
Yeah.
light is in my face. Yes. We will call on, we will call maybe just 2 more people because of time implications.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I am not going to. Hello, William. Mr. Chairman, I think this is not a day to prolonging this meeting. If you have said the board management, the staff have achieved well and pay us dividend, we should end this meeting in the last. It's almost 11 o'clock. The meeting is 10 o'clock. Please, 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 please. Please, please, please. So, Mr. Chairman, mine is going to brief to commend the company. You have done very well. Not to page. You have done very well. A lot of companies today cannot even be able to pay 50 kobo, which you have been providing and payable tomorrow. That's a milestone. I have to commend the board, the management, for work hard tirelessly to provide that 50 kobo. It's not easy. In a lot of bigger companies, we may have 10 kobo, 20 kobo, even some 3 kobo. But you paid 70 kobo last year. We have seen the COVID-19 have destroyed a lot of activities. Virtually today, many people don't go to the offices. They operate firms. These affect business running, Mr. Chairman. So if we're in the midst of this hardship economy that's not performing, then the money today have not been residing on registrars. And that's why SEC have been opening their eyes. The government want to have those money. They thought that the registrars are making a lot of money with this money, not knowing that this money belongs to the company. So if the registrars have been having the money and any interest in it, it has to be shared by the person with the company because they also maintain the registrars. But they have taken the money away from them. Where is the money going to come from? A lot of companies have only retainership. That's why we see zero there. Some of them are not paying the maintenance. Or registrars, a lot of companies are not able to pay to maintain registrars. When you conduct a gym with a company, it takes you months before they even pay or the meeting you organize for them. That's where we are. That's what the economy is. Mr. Chairman, on page 62, 64, I want to commend you on corporate governance. Attendance of board is superb. I want to commend you because the board have lived up to expectation to attend and formulate a policy which the management are driving to run their business. Nobody have the fortune to attend all the meetings as I went to. Both other committees, the shareholders, audit committee, they're up and doing. I want to commend you for holding corporate governance to the highest extreme. That's what African Prudential have been noted for. And what this is one of the biggest registrars provide services in the country today, African Prudential. Their staff is best second to none because the way they attend to you, the way you approach you, even on phone, they will answer. They will give you all you need. You don't need to go to the office. So they are excellent. Today, they are the best register who have produced how to get our dividend. When you apply to the ads, they specified. That's the technology. I think they are the #1 driven technology to making sure you retrieve their dividend so that these enemies of investors, anti-investors, who did not sow, they want to reap, not to get our money. So I want to applaud Obama and his group to intensify more effort that every company they have registrars, make sure that shareholders get their money so that no unclaimed trust, whatever, have our money of shareholders. I want to say kudos for the management and staff. I think by next year, it will be better. If the companies are doing well, government are doing well in that variation, we would applaud the government. They should take a cue from the companies. Despite the wobbling economy, the companies are still paying dividend today. That means that the leaderships are a problem. Not on any other thing. Leadership in this country is a problem. And if we are given the leadership we have the corporate world today, Nigeria will be the radar for everyone. I want to thank God what you have done today, and we will thank God that the dividend is payable tomorrow. So when we have the norms here on this board, the chickens ones there, and the madam who have been all around, will make sure that the company is on safe hand. God bless all of us. God bless shareholders. Thank you.
Please, we just want to, very short. If you know you can manage short, please, yes, the man there. Very short, 3 minutes, so that others can also have the 3 minutes, please. We will get there, please. Just allow him.
Thank you, Chairman, for giving me this privilege. My name is Adeleke Oladimeji. I'm so happy to be here today because we are celebrating a very, very excellent result. But on the first page of the annual report, there's a word there, change calls for innovation, and innovation leads to progress. That is our word. But I would like to employ the complaint.
What page did you say just now?
The first page.
First page.
The quote, change comes from innovation and innovation leads to progress. I believe with the invention of NIN, the complaint should plug into it and use that technology to reduce the list of unclaimed dividends. I believe with NIN, everybody is now registering, government is compulsory it, which can tap into it and get the biometric data of each of our shareholders. Also, I can see prudence in this annual report, though the turnover is low, but we are able to achieve this due to prudence. I want the company to keep it up. Also, there are some retail shareholders that have died. So due to this, to obtain letter of administration from courts is a very, very cumbersome thing. I've been involved in it before and I realize how difficult it is. I want the registrar, if they can create a platform in which someone that have 2,000 units, 5,000 units, and he died, whereby the family, if you fill a form with you, the next of kin to that person, whereby it will be very, very easy for them to claim it. If they said they should go to court, to the probate for this, it will take a very, very long time. That is one of the reasons why we have a lot of unclaimed dividend lists with us. If the registrar can create a platform in which all these little people can get their beloved dividend and that they can claim their shares, it will reduce the list of unclaimed dividend and it's going to be a very, very tremendous benefit to us. Also, I observe in this annual report, when other companies are downsizing, our companies still find it fit to go to reduce the number of employment people in the society. Last year, our workforce was 76. This year, it's increased to 91. But what baffled me there is this: the workforce increase, but wages and salary reduce. How do we come about this? If you look at the wages and salary of the company, page 126 and 125, the wages and salary reduced, and whereas the workforce increased. How come? Say those people, were they not paid or are they working for free? Also, let me also commend the company. I realize in this annual report, is very few companies in Nigeria we are not owing. We are not owing anything. Our finance cost is down to nothing. Let's appreciate the company for that. Thank you so much for giving me this privilege.
Yes. Let's have a scene on there.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson.
Just 3 minutes so that one or two others can.
No
3
problem.
minutes.
No problem, Madam
3 minutes,
Chairperson.
everything.
I'm standing on existing protocol. My name is Barrister Adetutu Shinyonbola. First and foremost, this thing, there's a caption in the cover page that caught my attention: wired for innovation. And when I saw that, I was wondering that I was inquisitive to know the innovations that was brought to bear by the company. When I now saw the page 6, I saw that in addition to registrar's services that we render, we have moved forward to digital technology, cooperative businesses, and e-commerce. I give kudos to the board and management for the introduction of these innovations. Concerning on page 8, when I saw the award that is being credited to our company, and now I'm convinced that we are not just wired for innovations alone, but we are wired for excellence. Kudos as well on that. On page 55, directors and their interest in the shares of the company. I noticed that majority of the board members are shareholders. This is impressive. On page 61, item 1.4, board changes. I noticed that 2 independent non-executive directors were appointed, although only Mrs. Fumbi Chima was appointed during the year under review, whereas the other woman, Ajia Sobeida M. Rashid, was appointed on the 24th of this month. I want to seize this opportunity to welcome the 2 of them to our board and to wish them a fruitful tenure in office. On the same page, on the item 1.5, which talks about disclosure of age, I observe that our chairperson, Madam of the House, Chief Mrs. Eniola Fadayomi, has become a septuagenarian on the 12th of this month, and I want to seize this opportunity to wish her a belated happy 70th birthday in good health, sound mind, and more prosperity in the name of Jesus. Furthermore, on page 65, second paragraph of item 4, that talks about the company secretary. I want to commend the office of the company secretary for complying with all the relevant regulatory laws in the year under review, without subjecting us to fines and penalties. The office has made us proud. We want them to keep it up. Kudos to them. Well done. On page 72, corporate social responsibility, the paragraph 4 of it, under the subheading of community support and economic empowerment, I observed that the amounts donated to Avon Medical Practice and that of SEC COVID-19 initiatives are not disclosed anywhere in this report. I want to know why it is not disclosed. So on the issue of unclaimed dividend, I just want I want to make an appeal to the board and the management to make the procedure to claim this dividend less cumbersome for our members to get their money. Please, it's an appeal. Try and do something so that our members can get their money. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. The last person they are calling here is, do we have Chief Adesina? I didn't see him again. Okay. The last person, sorry. Pastor Williams, is it Reverend Williams? Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Chairperson. I want to thank you for this opportunity that you have given to me. Success has 1,000 friends. I have left my state to come and savor this success of our company as a good wine. Mr. Chairman, today a lot of encomium has passed on this board, and I'm also happy to contribute to that encomium. But as we are passing that encomium, it is important to note that under a particular project, we have been able to make over 625% increase. Mr. Chairman, with that amount that we have made under that project of 625%, totaling over 412 million naira, it is important for this board to take into cognizance that this registrar is now at the apex of all the registrars in Nigeria today. Today, as we are making these successes, effort should be made to also consolidate on that digital consultancy that has fetched us such a large percentage. Because to remain on the ladder, one must continue to work assiduously to remain on that ladder. And I also want to thank this board for bringing in a sound expert, Mrs. Fumbi Chama, who will add more value, believing that at this meeting today, we will ratify our appointment. Once again, Mrs. Chairman, on behalf of everybody on the board, I want to say congratulations. I want to wish you more success, and God in his infinite mercy will grant you long life and more blessings. Thank you for the opportunity given. God bless you.
Thank you very much. I'm afraid time will not allow us to say further, but I just, before I pass on to the CEO, I just want to thank everybody for all the accolades on the results of the company. I'm very happy that this has been recognized and appreciated. Mr. Sonny Wosu, we have noted the points that you have said. And I also want to thank the shareholders for the awards as the Registrar of the Year. So I will ask our Chief Executive Officer to respond to the particulars. Thank you.
Okay. So can I sit down so that I can? Thank you. Thank you. So I'll just quickly respond to, thank you very much, shareholders, for coming. And I'll just quickly respond to some of your questions. The first one was Mr. Sonny Wosu, who talked about the special business. Of course, as you could see, there's a new provision where we had to add that special business, as you see with all other companies. And of course, as we obtain the approvals of the dear shareholders, we would definitely not pay 1st of January. We even passed 1st of January, and today we're coming to ask for that. On the CEO's report, he also talked about the 2020 Finance Act. We continue to monitor and continue to cooperate with the authorities on that. But the good thing about that is that, if you recall, there's an impression that all the unclaimed dividends is with the registrars, which is not the case. If you recall, SEC had said after 15 months that all unclaimed dividends be returned to the companies. So that is it. We'll see an impact of that Finance Act of less than 5% on our cash and cash equivalent. So it's almost insignificant to us as we continue to drive to pay our shareholders. On the issue of retainership fee, there was a comment on retainership fee in terms of a new report of retainership fee, which was stopped in 2019. It was one of the contracts. It was a fixed-term contract with one of our clients, and that fixed-term contract expired in 2019, and that's why you see a nil line on the retainership fee. In the issue of receivables, there was some conversation on receivables. Our receivables continue to perform. You can see that we've entered into a new line of business, and there are upfront costs sometimes in technology that you have to pay for certain tools and the rest, and that's what brought that up. But we continue to monitor that line, and it's not a problem. On the issue of unclaimed dividend, I think I'll take that later because it was also raised in another way. In the admin expense reduction, of course, thank you for your comments. We'll continue to watch our top line. One of the things that enabled us do that was in terms of adoption of a lot of technologies and a new way of working. And so that really helped us maximize or become very efficient and reduce that cost. Chief Okelena talked about recovery of, he talked about bureaucratic procedures of dividend recovery, and of course he singled us out as not being in that case. We continue to adopt and bring in new technologies. We've done a lot. We did a lot in 2020 as we continue to push and pay our shareholders. Ms. Bakari talked about unclaimed dividend, and you asked about what's the outstanding balance currently for AP. As you know, we also have shareholders. As our unclaimed dividend stands at 201 million. The general unclaimed dividend across, if you look at on page 121 on note 23, you will see the figure for the general unclaimed dividend. But one thing to note is that as of 2020 alone, we had paid a total of 120 billion in unclaimed dividend, which was a 50% increase, and thereby allowing payouts from 91, increasing payouts of 91 to 95%. As of yesterday, we did, there was payments of United Capital and also Africa Prudential shares. And we had a success payment rate from day one of 95%. So I'm sure most of you have received some of those dividends. So we continue to use technology to drive and ensure that we meet our shareholders' needs. Again, as my chairman said, thank you very much for the Registrar of the Year award. The award is in a very special place in our office. So we'll keep it and we'll throw it away after this meeting, but the award remains in a special place, and we really appreciate it. It doesn't take away anything from that. On the issue of CSR, there was Ms. Bakar also noticed an increase in the line of CSR, and you also talked about the 2 trillion fund, the COVID fund by the government. Of course, we're not eligible for that fund. In fact, we're even part of those as a company, which led to the increase in the CSR. That actually, as a good social citizen, we actually also gave out some amounts to support those that were really hit by the pandemic, in partnership with the Securities and Exchange Commission and some other organizations. In terms of our registrar business, you talked about the increase in our non-registrar business. We continue to see, if you recall, the board and shareholders agreed that the company should start looking at other areas of growth and revenue lines, and we went into technology, and this is what has led. We've seen growth year on year. You can see it's 265% from last year to this year. We still see a lot of opportunities. We don't think we've even scratched the surface yet, and so for this year, we continue to see a lot of make a lot of inroads in the technology space, and we shall continue to increase that. You talked about the virtual AGMs. Yes, we could see outside. You see one of our products called the APEMS. We're now just not only looking at providing using these innovative solutions to provide for us. We're looking at how we can also give it to others to provide services in terms of meetings and the like. There was also a conversation about decline in the treasury. I think decline in treasury bills. What's happened is that if you noticed last year, there was a lot of the yield environment was really low. We had single digits. There was a period of 3 days where we even had negative rates. And what we've done is to rebase our investment, our portfolio. There was a question about some investment of 2.7. I think Mrs. Bakar also asked 2.7 billion. We're rebasing and looking for new opportunities. And so we're looking at more long-term and other instruments where we are putting and placing these funds. Our digital technology, on the question on increase in professional fees, again, where you make income, where you make income, there's a corresponding amount that you pay to that for that, and so we had done 421 million increase in our technology business, and there are other fees. They are professionals that we use to derive some of these services, and that's why we saw a corresponding increase. There was a conversation, there was a comment on training cost. Of course, we know what happened last year with the lockdowns and the rest, and there was a reduction in that training cost. But as we speak, we have started, our staff have started going to training as we speak, and we'll see a higher lessons, especially as we're in a new line of business. We keep retraining ourselves, and we're going to see how we're going to look at that cost go a bit up. Thank you, Mr. Boniface, for your accolades. Mr. Odulajimedi talked about the NIN and BVIN. We're engaging NIBS, we're engaging SEC, we're engaging NSC, we're engaging the whole capital market to see how we can continue to improve the services to the shareholders and to see how we can bring all these applications together so that we're able to identify and pay shareholders. Barrister Adedutu, thank you very much for your comments also. Also the CSR, I think I've talked about the CSR. On the notes you would see the amount of donations that were made. And also, Pastor, thank you very much. Of course, you talked about the new independent non-executive directors. As you know, corporate governance drives a lot of what we do here. and we saw it fit, the board saw it fit to invite 2 more new independent executive directors that are coming to bring, a lot to the table. Thank you very much. I will now call on the representative of the registrars, Mrs. Catherine Nwosu, to guide us on the voting process at this moment. Yeah.
Distinguished shareholders, we have a lot of shareholders who have joined online and will be voting via our multi-channel voting application. The instruction for such shareholders goes as follows. For online voting, please click on the link that has been sent to you and enter the unique code on the message received. As soon as a voting starts, the specific resolution will appear on the screen with the voting options for or against or abstain displayed. Voting will be open for 1 minute. Once you have voted, click the submit button at the bottom of the page. You can change your vote within the 1 minute window by simply clicking on another option. Once the voting period ends, your last selected voting option will be registered as your final vote. We also have shareholders who will be voting via the USSD platform. For such shareholders, please dial *4018# and send. Select option 8, which is AGM. Voting will be open for 1 minute. Follow the prompt and vote either for or against or abstain and send. Confirm and submit your vote. You will receive a message confirming that your vote has been submitted. You also have the flexibility to change your vote within a 1 minute window by simply dialing the USSD shortcode again and repeating the process. Once the voting period ends, your last selected voting option will be registered as your final vote. Distinguished shareholders who are physically present, for those of you that have not submitted proxies, voting devices have been given to you. Before we start the voting, please, you will need to carry out a keypad test to activate the keypads. To activate the keypads, please press any key on the device. Voting will be open for 1 minute. You will need only 2 keys for this exercise. Either 1 if you're voting in favor of the resolution, or 2 if you are against the resolution. If you press any other key, it will be assumed that you have abstained from voting. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the declaration of dividend of 1 billion naira gross for the financial year ended December 31, 2020. The directors are recommending a dividend of 50 kobo for every ordinary share of 50 kobo each to all shareholders whose names are in the company's register of members as of March 15, 2021. I hereby move that a dividend of 50 kobo for every ordinary share of 50 kobo each be paid to shareholders whose names appear in the company's register of members as at the close of business on the March 15, 2021. Would someone please second the motion? Yes, Chief Timothy. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. Those in favor of this motion, please press 1 on your voting pad. Anyone objecting to the motion, please press 2 on your voting pad. Registrar, kindly announce the result of the voting at the end of the exercise.
Yes, the voting is on now. Please vote.
Thank you.
We have 41 seconds remaining.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. The voting is over. For the resolution to approve the declaration of the dividend, the result of the poll is as follows: 1,064,874,008 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast, both by shareholders and proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. There is no vote against this resolution. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. So the votes are hereby declared that the motion has been duly carried. The next item on the agenda is the appointment of Mrs. Fumbi Chima as a director. Since the last AGM, the board appointed Mrs. Fumbi Chima as a director, and in accordance with section 274, 2020, we hereby seek the approval of the general meeting to her appointment. Thank you. I hereby move that the appointment of Mrs. Fumbi Chima be and is hereby approved as a director of the company. Would someone please rise and second this motion? Thank you. Okay. Can you speak louder? All right, thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. Those in favor of this motion, please press 1 on your voting pod. Anybody objecting, please press 2 on your voting pad. Registrar, kindly announce the results of the voting.
The voting is on, ma'am. Thank you. Have 41 seconds to go. Voting has ended.
Yes.
For the resolution to approve the appointment of Mrs. Fumbi Chima as a director of the company, the result of the poll is as follows: 1,064,874,639 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast, both by shareholders and proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. There is no vote against this resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I declare that this motion has been duly carried. The next item on the agenda is the appointment of Ajia Zubaida Mahi Rashid as a director. Since the last AGM, the board also appointed Ajia Zubaida Mahe Rashid as a director. And in accordance with Section 274, 2020, we hereby seek the approval of the general meeting to her appointment. I hereby move that the appointment of Ajia Zubaidu Mahi Rashid be and is hereby approved as a director of the company. Would someone please rise and second this motion? Okay, the gentleman at the back here. Introduce your name.
Thank you for the opportunity. The name is Comrade Lawrence Ogutoye, all the way from Ibadan. Hereby second this motion.
I now put the motion to the meeting. Those in favor of this motion, please press 1 on your voting pad. Anyone objecting to the motion, please press 2 on your voting pad. And registrar, kindly announce the results at the end of the voting.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We have 40 seconds remaining. Voting has ended. Distinguished shareholders, for the resolution to approve the appointment of Hajia Zubaida Mahir Rashid as a director of the company, the result of the poll is as follows. 1,064,065,286 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by both shareholders and proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. There is no vote against this resolution. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. The next item on the agenda is the re-election of retiring directors. In accordance with Section 2851 of PAMA 2020, at the annual general meeting in every subsequent year, 1/3 of the directors for the time being shall retire from office and be eligible for re-election. The directors retiring by rotation and who, being eligible, have presented themselves for re-election are Mr. Peter Elumelu and Mr. Samuel Nwanze. I hereby move that Mr. Peter Elumelu, who is retiring by rotation and has offered himself for re-election, be and is hereby re-elected. Would someone please second the motion? Yes. Yes. The gentleman at the back there, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The name is Evangelist Dr. Antonio Mojola. I do support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. Those in favor of this motion, please press 1 on your voting pad. Anyone objecting to the motion, please press 2 on your voting pad. Registrar, kindly announce the result of the voting.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We have 40 minutes remaining, 40 seconds remaining. Voting has ended. For the resolution to approve the re-election of Mr. Peter Elumelu as a director of the company, the result of the poll is as follows. 1,064,893,952 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast, both by shareholders and proxies, voted in favor of the resolution. 927 units of shares, representing 0.00% of the shares of the votes cast, voted against this resolution. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. I hereby move that Mr. Samuel Wanze, who is retiring by rotation and has offered himself for re-election, be and is hereby re-elected. Would someone please second the motion? Mr. Obideyi, please. Ms. Obideyi. Okay. Please, yes.
Thank you, Madam. I rise to second the motion. My name is Mrs. Hiro Obideyi. That short man, don't mind it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. Those in favor of this motion, please press 1 on your voting card. Anyone objecting to the motion, please press 2 on your voting card. Registrar, kindly announce the result of the voting at the end.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We have 45 seconds to go. Voting has ended. For the resolution to approve the re-election of Mr. Sam Wanze as a director of the company, the result of the poll is as follows. 1,678,670 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast, voted in favor of the resolution. 86 units of shares, representing 0.00% of the votes cast, voted against the resolution. Thank you, Chairman.
I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. The next item on the agenda is to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the external auditors, Messrs. Ernst & Young. The law, Section 4081 of CAMA 2020, requires that the remuneration be fixed by the company in a general meeting or in such a manner as the company may determine in the general meeting. I hereby move that the directors be and are hereby authorized to fix the remuneration of the external auditors for the year ending 31st of December 2021. Would someone please second the motion? Okay, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Honorable Bright Tunwabuogu, the National President of Aba Shareholders Association of Nigeria, and so do.
Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. Those in favor of this motion, please press 1 on your voting pad. Anyone objecting to the motion, please press 2 on your voting pad. Registrar, kindly announce the results of the voting.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We have 40 seconds to go. Voting has ended. Distinguished shareholders, for the resolution to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors, the result of the poll is as follows: 1,064,867,216 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast, voted in favor of the resolution. 444 shares, representing 0.00% of the votes cast, voted against the resolution. Thank you.
I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. The next item on the agenda is the election of members of the Statutory Audit Committee. The directors nominated to present the board on the Statutory Audit Committee are Mr. Peter Elumelu, Non-Executive Director, Ajia Zubaida Nahi Rashid, Independent Non-Executive Director. The Company Secretary has confirmed that a total of 3 valid nominations were received for membership of the Audit Committee from shareholders. The following members have been validly nominated to represent shareholders on the Audit Committee: Mr. Frank Chikezie, shareholder; Mr. Tajuddin Additional, shareholder; and number 3, Alhaji Kabiru Tambari, shareholder. Since 3 shareholders are required to serve on the Statutory Audit Committee as representatives of shareholders, it would be time-saving to approve the election of all the members of the Statutory Audit Committee with one single resolution. And for this reason, I would ask that, would someone please second this motion? Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Odunuga Samiat is his name. I hereby second the motion.
Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. Those in favor of this motion, please signify by raising your hands. Registrar would count.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, 16.
Anyone objecting to the motion, please signify. How many?
No one now. Okay.
No objection. Okay. Can you say that clearly, Registrar?
Nobody objected to the resolution.
I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. I therefore hereby move a motion that the following persons be and hereby are validly elected as members of the Statutory Audit Committee: They are Mr. Frank Chikezie, shareholder. Mr. Tajuddin, additional shareholder. Alaji Kabiru Tambari, shareholder. Who will join the directors, Mr. Peter Lumelu and Ajia Zubaida Mahi Rashid, as members of the Statutory Audit Committee. Would someone please second the motion? Would someone please second the motion?
I'm Banji Olubosu. I second the motion.
Yes, okay, thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. Those in favor of this motion, please signify by raising your hands. Would all those against the motion, no, yeah. Have you counted? Yeah, please count.
Those against. Those against. There is no one against.
Yes?
There is no one that voted against now.
Okay. I therefore hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. Section 238 of CAMA 2020 require companies to disclose the remuneration of managers. Please refer to page 58 of the annual report for details of the remuneration of managers as required by law. This is for information purposes only. Thank you. The next item is a resolution to fix the remuneration of directors at the company. I hereby move that the remuneration of non-executive directors be and is hereby fixed as 42,500,000 naira only for the year ending December 31, 2021. Such payments to be effective January 2021. A resolution empowering the board of directors to fix the remuneration of the non-executive directors for 2021. Is it a point of order or what? Yeah. Would somebody please rise and second this motion? Yeah.
Thank you, Madam. My name is Mrs. Bakari Adebisi Oluwayemisi. I so do.
Thank you. Those in favor of this motion, please press 1 on your voting pad. Anyone objecting to the motion, please press 2 on your voting pad. Registrar, will you kindly announce the results of the voting?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We have 41 seconds to go.
Okay, to approve. Okay. To approve.
Voting has ended. Distinguished shareholders, for the resolution to approve the remuneration, the result of the poll is as follows. 1,064,868,867 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast, voted in favor of the resolution. 2,471 units of shares, representing 0.00% of the votes cast, voted against the resolution. Thank you, Chairman.
I hereby declare that the motion to approve the remuneration of directors of the company has been duly carried. Ladies and gentlemen, as there is no other business on the agenda, I want to thank you all on behalf of the board for attending this meeting, being the first hybrid virtual meeting of the company. It's not the first, but it's a fully hybrid one. Last year we did a virtual, and this year we advanced further on it, making it a hybrid virtual meeting and showing so much interest in your company's affairs. To close the meeting, I will call on Mrs. Samiat. Yes. That's not. I'm not. This is not on the agenda. This is not on the agenda. This is not. Thank you very much. Oh my God. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I truly appreciate from my colleagues and from all of you present. To close this meeting, may I call on Mrs. Samia Todunsa to give us prayers, closing
Thank you,
prayers.
Mr. Chairman. Alhamdulillah, we give thanks to Almighty Allah who make it easy for each and every one of us to gather here to discuss the way forward of our company. As we are about to wind up and start to go to our various places, I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us, protect us, and take us safely down to our prayer destination. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbana atina fi dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina azaban. Amen.
Reverend Adebayo Williams to join to also close. Thank you. Reverend Adebayo Williams. Thank you.
Our God, our Father and our Maker. Father Jehovah, we thank you for this beautiful day. As we are savoring the success of this company, we beseech you to grant our director more zeal, knowledge and power to take this company to more greater heights. And for every shareholders, we beseech you to grant us the necessary journey masses to our respective destination. And for Nigeria as a nation, we implore God to give us the necessary peace, enduring peace, to move forward as a nation. These and many others we ask through our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Okay.